what I would give to have learned all this sooner. There's actually a massive scientific mystery. Some scientists consider it the biggest scientific mystery, but they don't really teach people about it. Let's think about the question, what is it like to be John? This question is asking what the subjective experience of John is like. The mystery is, we actually don't know why subjective experience exists. We don't know how to create a machine with this phenomenon. How do you make it like something to be a machine? Could AI have this phenomenon? What would it even be like to be an AI like ChatGPT? Why is subjective experience such a mystery? Well, you see, brains aren't magic. People tend to really mystify the brain, but it's more like a computer. While there are mysteries in physics, dark matter and whatnot, they don't really apply to things like the brain or computers. Your brain is basic matter and its basic forces. These are the only four forces in your brain. Computers and brains follow our known model of physics. A physicist isn't going to look inside a computer or a brain and be like, whoa, that wasn't supposed to happen. The brain is really just a big Rube Goldberg machine. And by that I mean it's just a big physical chain reaction. Really, the whole world is one big chain reaction. For a quick neuroscience lesson, your brain is a network made of billions of neurons. They're connected via synapses. If a neuron has enough inward synapses firing, then all the outward synapses fire. Basically, your brain uses this algorithm to do all of its thinking. ChatGPT actually uses a similar algorithm. They're both called neural nets. Now let's say you build a big Rube Goldberg machine. Maybe you even model it after the human brain. But regardless of how big or complicated you made it, you wouldn't really expect a Rube Goldberg machine to summon subjective experience. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But the question, what is it like to be my Rube Goldberg machine, probably wouldn't cross your mind. You just wouldn't expect any machine to create that. But the Goldberg machine that is your brain, for some reason, does have subjective experience. And that's the big mystery. How? Why would physical parts moving around also create this? Subjective experience, in some sense, just shouldn't exist. Because if every Goldberg machine was just its physical components and movement, then our understanding of the world would be more complete. I mean, isn't it crazy? Subjective experience, the phenomenon that in some sense gives the world meaning, is just one big question mark? Anyways, that was a quick lesson for context, but none of that was my argument. I'm not going to say the intro proves or disproves anyone's worldview. But regardless of what people believe, there's two things that are universally agreed upon. Subjective experience exists, and subjective experience is a mystery. There's just a lot of questions around it. Now for the actual argument. I love this argument because I really only need this from the intro, a universal fact. Now let's look at one of the biggest issues with subjective experience. I personally don't believe it does. But some people would say that ChatGPT probably has some low-level consciousness. And it's possible. It's possible that ChatGPT has subjective experience, that it's like something to be ChatGPT. But here's the thing. ChatGPT wouldn't talk about it. Its neural net is not set up to say, a mysterious phenomenon emerges for me. Why does that happen? It's got these specific characteristics. But human neural nets are set up to speak about it. I'm talking about it right now. In fact, we come with the absolute belief of subjective experience. Why are our neural nets specifically set up to speak about such a thing? The existence of subjective experience and my body speaking about its existence is clearly not a coincidence. This means that there must be some level of causation tying the two together. But what could that causation possibly be? How could we go from ChatGPT having subjective experience to it being programmed to speak about it? You can think about it for now, but we'll get back to this question later. Instead, let's look closer at ChatGPT's hardware. ChatGPT is one of my favorite Goldberg machines. Once again, we don't know if it has subjective experience or not. But here's the thing. Subjective experience isn't in our model of physics. We can still figure out exactly how all of its hardware will move without knowing if it has subjective experience or not. In fact, we can figure out exactly how any structure will move without knowing if it has subjective experience. This is only possible if subjective experience doesn't have physical impact. Now, don't get me wrong. The physical parts that one might say causes subjective experience are very important physics-wise, but the phenomenon itself isn't. I mean, take the statement in. Read it as many times as you need. Now, the logic from here is pretty simple. If subjective experience has no physical impact, then how are we talking about it? What could be the link from it existing to us talking about it? Well, you would need some form of intelligent design, because natural causes, things like natural selection and evolution, they can't care about something if it doesn't have physical impact. They're blind to such phenomena. They can't be the causation linking the two. It would therefore have to be a supernatural cause, realistically some form of intelligent design. I mean, it's pretty basic. How else are we speaking about a phenomenon if it has no physical impact? The average atheist believes that humans are an unintended byproduct. That doesn't work here. We can be confident that this belief is wrong. Here's the argument on one page. This is the kill shot. Regardless of who you are, I would take out some paper and write this down. It's only 2 sentences, and it's unlikely you'll find this video again. This is it. Now, I know it's unintuitive for something to not have physical impact. But if someone wants to disagree with this argument and try to say that subjective experience does have physical impact, then let me ask you a question. A P-zombie is the hypothetical idea of a human with the same structure as you, but without the mysterious subjective experience phenomenon emerging from it. My question is, what if our world suddenly changed the rules and everyone became P-zombies? So your exact body structure would remain the same, but this hypothetical would just remove the mysterious phenomenon part. Yay, mystery gone, our understanding of the world is now more complete. If you believe that subjective experience has physical impact, then how would a P-zombie move differently? Would its particles no longer follow our model of physics? Or would they move the same? Subjective experience just isn't in our model of physics. Realistically, conscious and unconscious matter follow the same laws of physics. If you believe that a P-zombie would move the same as a non-P-zombie, then you don't really believe subjective experience has physical impact. It's just a hypothetical, and all I'm really asking is, where is the physical impact? So yeah, tell me this. How would the particles move differently in a P-zombie? Realistically, this argument is golden. To recap, a phenomenon without physical impact exists. So how is my body talking about the phenomenon? Well, natural causes can't be the link. It would have to be some form of intelligent design. The best part is, even if I threw this argument out the window, it wouldn't help. How could we go from ChatGPT having subjective experience to its hardware being programmed to talk about it? I can grant you whatever assumptions you want. We can say subjective experience has physical impact, but you probably still believe that our current model of physics is accurate. So you're not even changing where particles move to. How are we in any better of a situation to go from here to here? In fact, we can throw this out too. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you want to say it's not a coincidence, you will always need some form of intelligent design. Realistically, the causation would be a capable third party, intentionally aligning things. A third party that's motivated to do so and is already aware of subjective experience to begin with. Intelligent design is just so clear to me. This video is definitely my favorite argument, because it's beautiful. But it's not even my only argument. If you want to see my other arguments, go to the description of this video. Try watching this one. It's an argument for souls. I know, what? How do you make an argument for souls? That's not possible. Well, go watch the video and find out. Look, it's even got 3D animation and machine guns. Now, to add an about me spiel, ideas like intelligent design and souls don't fit very well with the standard atheist worldview. If you're curious about my faith, I personally find the evidence for Christianity to be the most compelling. If you're interested in Christianity, I would recommend you try going to a church this week, preferably a church that actually preaches the gospel and uses the Bible. Try also reading the gospel, the first 4 books in the New Testament. I've linked it down below. I really wish the best for everyone watching this video. I know people don't really change their mind when it comes to religion, but I appreciate you taking the time to watch, so thanks.